James Gunn's Superman is now very close to beating Henry Cavill's divisive portrayal of Superman in Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. When Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice debuted in 2016, fans of the DCU and Zack Snyder were divided over Henry Cavill's portrayal of Superman in the film. Superman, who was supposed to be this optimistic superhero with a happy-go-lucky feel around him, ended up being a dark character with existential dread who is trying to figure out his place in this world. James Gunn's Superman is so close to beating Henry Cavill's divisive portrayal of Superman in the 2016 DCU film Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. With Zack Snyder having a fan base in the millions, including me, it was an iconic moment to see David Corenswet's Superman take flight and soar in the skies over the Atlantic. However, no one had predicted that the film would soar to such heights that it is almost going to beat Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice in terms of domestic box office collection. According to the stats on Box Office Mojo, Superman currently stands at domestic earnings of $322 million, while Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice earned a total of $330 million domestically. The two movies have only a gap of $8 million, and it seems like a feat that James Gunn's Superman can achieve with enough time. Notice something different. In the bleak color palette of the frame, Superman's flag rises tall, is yellow in color, and the S is clearly marked in red and visible. This was James Gunn's way of saying that, despite troubling times, the Man of Steel will always be there to help you out. It showed optimism and a hope that the world will one day surely be better. James Gunn's take on the character was done with an optimistic approach. And even though David Corenswet's Man of Steel went through existential dread, was called an alien by the people, and was questioning his biological parents, he saved humanity first, every time. With the people turning against their savior and calling him an alien, Superman struggles internally, which is seen on Cavill's face throughout the whole movie. Critics and fans claimed that Cavill's acting was lackluster, via Influx magazine, and Cavill's expressions remained stoic despite everything happening around him. Despite these poor responses, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice remained in the hearts of DCU fans, again, including me, and was a reminder of how dark our favorite heroes can go. Although James Gunn and Zack Snyder were sharing the same story about Superman, Gunn avoided this one crucial mistake in his DCU that made Superman better than Snyder's take on the character. Hence, James Gunn avoided that one mistake which might have made the DCU end up in a similar situation as the DCU, and that one little change changed everything. Who do you think is the better Superman director? Zack Snyder or James Gunn? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Instead of Snyder, who depicted a brooding Superman and gave him a pessimistic outlook towards the world, Gunn gave the character plenty of problems, but he didn't change the core and heart of Superman. Gunn's take on the character felt natural and the familiar Superman we all know and grew up with. The film's usage of humor was on point, that telling the audience that even in difficult times, happiness is just one joke away. A dark deleted Lex Luthor scene and casting what-ifs reveal surprising layers behind James Gunn's new Superman film. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Superman is probably hopeful overall, but it almost got really dark with a deleted scene that showed just how ruthless Lex Luthor really is. In the movie, Superman is trapped and weakened, and he watches helplessly as Lex executes Malik Ali, a kind falafel vendor who had helped him earlier. Though the movie shows this only briefly and from a distance, originally, it was way more eerie and graphic. James Gunn has apparently revealed a deleted moment involving Lex Luthor, played by Nicholas Hoult, that ramps up the villain's cruelty to a shocking level. Even though Gunn's Superman may have shaped up the DCU's most hopeful chapter yet, it almost plunged into disturbingly dark territory with Hoult's scene. In the second act, after Superman, aka David Corenswet, turns himself in to save Krypto the dog, he's powerless to stop Luthor from executing Malik Ali. While Gunn originally shot the scene in far gorier detail, it turns out to be really dark. As Gunn himself admitted in a Happy Sad Confused podcast, "There's a really dark thing in there. Once I saw the movie, I'm like, this is too dark." Though the scene was toned down in the final cut, the hint of it still lingers, giving Hoult's Luthor an unnerving edge without even crossing into outright horror. And Burek, he's so funny. He lays down on his back and starts soaking up the blood. Then Nick looks over at Superman and says, "I'll see you tomorrow." Gunn even admitted that Nicholas Hoult's delivery was perfect, and that moment shows Lex's cold, controlling side in a way that's almost unrealistic and shocking. Furthermore, Gunn shared that the scene was cut early because it pushed things too far and wasn't included in test screenings. Even so, it's clear he wanted to show a darker, more complex a villain who's not just evil but ice-cold and calculating. What makes the scene so chilling is the twisted power play that follows. Zlatko Buric, who plays the Boravian president Vasil Gurkos, actually lies down on the floor to soak up Malik's blood. As Gunn shared. Moreover, Cooper wasn't the right fit for Lex, given his age. However, Gunn had plenty of praise for him. He said, "Bradley would have been a great Lex. Bradley's great at everything." Instead, Cooper took on the role of Jor-El, Superman's father, in a cameo that the creator said required someone with the stature of what we imagine that character being, comparing the legacy to Marlon Brando's original portrayal. Also, Gunn explained that casting Cooper as Jor-El worked better because another major revelation James Gunn shared was about the casting choices for Superman, and admitted that Bradley Cooper was actually considered for the role of Lex Luthor before Nicholas Hoult was cast. Yep, on the podcast, Gunn explained, "I did talk to Bradley about it. We had a short conversation, and at the end, I did want Lex to be someone that was more a contemporary of Superman's." Though Gunn reasoned that Lex needed to be closer in age to Superman to highlight the rivalry, he did admit that Lex's character is crucial for Superman as well as the DC universe. But honestly, what if Cooper had played Lex Luthor? It must have been tempting. Given Cooper's charisma and range, he could have given Lex a different kind of edge. Cooper's Lex may have been a more intense, brooding villain who's just as charming as he is dangerous. A lot of times, Jor-El is played by a 70-year-old man, and that means he was 70 when he had a baby, so I wanted somebody that wasn't too old. Undoubtedly, Cooper's presence did bring a fresh take on the iconic role. In the end, Gunn was confident of both his choices as Holt delivered a compelling, younger Lex while Cooper brought depth to Jor-El's character. However, Cooper as Jor-El also makes sense because he commands respect and warmth, fitting the role of Superman's father perfectly. Honestly, I think both actors were placed where they shine brightest, but the what if of Cooper as Lex will definitely linger in fans' minds as an exciting alternate universe. What do you think? Would Bradley Cooper have nailed Lex Luthor? Drop your thoughts and favorite Superman moments below. But honestly, what if Cooper had played Lex Luthor? It must have been tempting. Given Cooper's charisma and range, he could have given Lex a different kind of edge. Cooper's Lex may have been a more intense, brooding villain who's just as charming as he is dangerous. James Gunn's Superman paid tribute to Christopher Reeve by incorporating a role that defines personal and professional careers together. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Will Reeve's cameo in James Gunn's Superman is more than just a tribute.